Welcome to Clothing Science. Today we are going to see on the comfort perceptions and preferences. Thermal discomfort is a main discomfort for the comfort of the clothing, which accumulation of the heat in microclimate between the skin and the clothing. Changes in the skin temperature more than 35 degrees centigrade and less than 30 degrees centigrade can also cause a thermal discomfort. Accumulation of sweat on the skin between the fabric and the skin also causes a thermal discomfort. Where all this can be used? It can be used for protection, social upgradation, and for certain functions like medical functions, tactile functions, home textiles, in agro textiles, etc. Clothing requirement mainly depends on activity level, economic background, and social status. It also depends on the age and level of health, environment, weather, certain situations such as the bridal dress or for any functions that are evolved with. It also depends on the faith, the religion, territorial and cultural aspects, and many more factors to be considered in India. To create a comfortable clothing, a designer considers fashion and other technical factors. They are fiber nature and size, surface modification of the fibers, hydrophobic or hydrophilic membranes fused to the textile layers, weaving or knitting patterns, and abrasion of the fabric surface are the parameters by which comfort of clothing can be enhanced. Extensive research shows that the ability of clothing materials to transport moisture vapor is a critical determinant of wear comfort, especially in conditions that involve sweating. So, for satisfactory performance of clothing comfort, researchers recognize that clothing comfort has two main aspects. They are thermophysiological and sensorial comfort. Thermophysiological relates to the way clothing buffers and dissipates metabolic heat and moisture, whereas the sensorial comfort relates to the interaction of the clothing with the senses of the wearer, particularly with the tactile response of the skin, which includes moisture sensation on the skin. The wear comfort of clothing is affected by physical processes which include heat transfer by conduction, convection and radiation, moisture transfer by diffusion, sorption, wicking and evaporation. During higher activity level and or at higher atmospheric temperatures, sweat gland get activated which produce liquid as well as perspiration. When the perspiration is transferred to the atmosphere, it carries heat, thus reducing the body temperature. The fabric being worn should allow the perspiration to pass through, otherwise it will result in discomfort. If moisture transfer rate is not adequate during sweating, then it may result in heat stress due to increase in rectal and skin temperatures. Clothing by its nature has an insulating effect and resists transfer of excess heat and moisture from the body. A still layer of air confined between the skin and fabric or between two fabric layers can make the wearer extremely uncomfortable due to its barrier effect. Thus, the most important purpose of clothing is to provide a stable microclimate next to skin by maximizing the rate of heat and moisture loss from the body. If ratio of evaporated sweat and produced sweat is very low, moisture will be accumulated in the inner layer of the fabric system, ultimately affect the thermal insulation of clothing. It means there is some correlation between heat and moisture transmission through fabrics which play a major role in maintaining a wearer's body in comfort zone. Functional requirements of clothing. What are the functional requirements of clothing, they are: maintain a comfortable microclimate in terms of temperature and humidity in the skin sensory zone, good moisture absorption and water vapor transmission, absence of unpleasant odor such as perspiration, compatibility with the skin, good extensibility without restricting mobility, good fit stability, low intrinsic weight, and substantially water repellent and dirt repellent. Thank you.